This video was made for the Creative Arts Collaboration event called #lovefallart. I'm Linda Ann Smith, and I'm going to show you how I spent a lazy Sunday afternoon making this Love Fall Art fairy tale composition. We began with 2 panels or canvas boards from Artist Loft, and I didn't use both panels, but you'll see why I did 2 at a time in just a few minutes. I'm using a tube of basic black acrylic paint to just squirt some paint all over one of my canvases. I'm pulling out a second tube and dabbing color onto the canvas just like I did with the black. This color is raw sienna. And next I'm going to add some of my shimmery paint from Color Art. This is Spiced Pumpkin. It's a radiant gel dimensional paint. And another orangish color, which is also a shimmery paint, called Coral Berry. So I'm just going to dab some of those around on the canvas too, and if it looks like I'm putting a lot of paint on here, I am, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm spreading these all around with my palette knife on the canvas panel, not trying to totally mix them, leaving some of the color bright and some of it darker. I just want a mixture, a background mixture on. Those browns and oranges are already beginning to remind me of autumn. The paint's pretty thick and textured at this point, but I may not have even quite enough on there for my next step. If I don't, I can always fix it. So I take the other panel, which is already messy, and I lay this panel down face to face, and I hear the word smush a lot. Is that really a word? I smush it around, move it around with my fingers, and then I pull it apart. And I love the texture that I get when I pull that apart. It just looks so branchy. And I guess I didn't have quite enough paint on it because this panel has some white spots. So I can fill those in, and I'll probably just press these together and do it again. I'm leaving some pretty good textures with my palette knife, but I do like pushing those canvases together and pulling them apart, and if I put some more paint on top of this one, then the other canvas will have a chance to do some changes also. So here we go. A little more. Push it together. Use that good old word, smush it around, and pull them apart. And I do love the textures that that creates. I see some white edges on the edge of my panel, so I'm going to take my finger and pull some of the paint down so it won't distract from the final product. I'm leaving those 8 by 8 inch canvases to dry while I work on a larger canvas. This one's 12 inches by 12 inches, and I prepared it earlier. It's all dry, it's ready to use. So it takes quite a while when you do it this way for the drying time because the paint's so thick. In my studio I had a stash of little leaves that I had punched out of scrap paper with little punches that a friend had, and I'm going to pull these out and see what I think looks good on the canvas. I played around with several different arrangements of leaves, but I just wasn't satisfied with it. I didn't like the way the colors went together. So there's always a way to fix that. Not only did I change the leaves, but I changed the color of the new leaves. I pulled out another shimmery paint from my Color Art Radiant Gels, and this one is called Key Lime. And these leaves are more like pin oak leaves than the maple leaves I had earlier. This is just a background sheet that I'm going to paint on top of. The Habitat for Humanity store called Restore had a whole bunch of rubber stamps, and I found this there. So I'm going to use this and stamp on one of the places that is not quite so thick with paint. Part of the area, and stamp again beside that so it'll be a wide castle, not such a tall skinny castle. Well, I was hoping that would show up just a little bit better. But I think I'll take my Ranger emboss pen and start drawing. So this is what I did. I drew and elaborated a little bit and added some of my own touches. And and I did that with the embossing pen, and now I'm ready to shake some of this Princess Gold color on top of it, fitting for a cancel, Princess Gold. This powder that you see is an embossing powder, and once I cover it thoroughly with the embossing powder, then I'll shake it off onto a piece of paper and pour it back into my jar so that I don't really waste anything. And there, that already looks better, just like that, and I haven't even touched it with the heat gun yet. This is my very first time to do embossing, so I'm anxious to see this happen. I watch a lot of YouTube videos where they make it work, but wow, I really like that gold coming up there. Well, that's a castle fit for a princess. Okay, so I'm happy with my castle, and I'm thinking maybe this pen will work on the dragonflies to change their color also. I think everybody needs a golden dragonfly. They tried to fly away from me because of the heat gun blowing on them, but I finally got my golden dragonflies, and I'm ready to start painting a little with this key line paint, the Radiant Gels Dimensional Paint. And I'm just going to dab some color here and there to suggest some fall colored leaves. I decided to use Mod Podge to attach those loose little paper pieces that I had, the leaves and the dragonflies. And so just lifting up one end and then going on top of them, I still scoot them around. When I get all finished, the Mod Podge is shiny, and so it's glossy, so I will need to do the whole canvas so it won't have just glossy patches on it. I found the embossed golden dragonflies were very hard to put down. They just didn't want to stay, so I finally pulled out my Aleene's glue and held them down for a little bit, and they finally adhered to the surface. One by one, I attached each little paper component in a way that I felt was pleasing. Tomorrow, when this all gets totally dry, I may take a permanent ink pen, maybe in a sepia color, and draw in a few branches, but I'm fairly happy with the results that I have right now. I've set up a temporary schedule beginning in November to do at least one art tutorial video per week. So I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, share my videos, and give me a thumbs up if you liked this one. If you want to see more videos made by the Creative Arts Collaboration, go to your search bar in YouTube and type in #lovefallart. Thank you so much for watching.